Katya, welcome. Kathy, I'm gonna make you an admin as well with Mike so that you could be attentive to who's coming in as well, Kathy. Awesome. All right. So guys, first thing we do every time we do this, May says week 7. Can you guys hear me okay? Mike says he can't hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me like a type in the group or, say some yes. Okay, everybody says yes. Awesome. So Mike, you got a problem with your speakers, buddy? All right, so first thing we like to do every time we get on a freedom training is step number 1. We got to type in the box or you got to say it out loud. It's a freedom day. We always start with this slide. We always start with this screen. Last week, you guys have had the honor of trying to read my scribble. This week, we're going to go ahead and scribble some more, but we are recording these sessions. Go ahead and write in there. It's a freedom day. I want to see everybody do it. I'll be doing my jumping jacks and stuff. It's a freedom day. Let's go. All right. And so why are we doing this training? Why are we focused so hard on developing foundation work, making sure that you guys are in tune for what's happening in your business? And at the end of the day, it's to help you develop your freedom goal, whatever that means to you. I was reading something yesterday and it was a really great quote. There's a guy named Chris Crone, that a very good friend of mine put me onto. Chris Crone's a financial guy, focuses on real estate finances and stuff like that. And, insurance plans and how to really use money to your benefit. Right. And so Chris, said something the other day. He said, the fancy cars and the fancy house is the old rich, right? And I was reading that because it's something I really believe, right? He said the fancy cars and the fancy houses and all that, that's the old rich, right? The old rich had to show up on the Rolls Royce to the Ritz, right? The new rich is focused on freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, work freedom. What does that mean? That means that we want to be able to work from anywhere in the world. We want to be able to have the time that we desire to have in our lives and have the finances we desire to have in order to support those other two things, right? Because at the end of the day, you could call money the root of all evil and this and that. I've seen so many nasty quotes about money, but at the end of the day, money buys you food, money buys you your place, money helps your time, money helps you pay people who will help you leverage your time, right? So I'm reading a great book right now. One of the members of my team, my sales team here in well, she's in Virginia, but one of the members of my sales team started a book club for our team. So the Curse team now has like an official book club, right? And in the book club, the first book that they started reading was The 4-Hour Workweek, right? And so if you haven't read this yet, highly suggest that you read this, because the entire premise of the book is how can I work really hard on super high level, actionable money-making items, and then everything else is my time, right? So how do I look at what I have and what I do on a daily basis, right? Sometimes, I'm sure everybody in here has it. In the comments, I want you to write like a thumbs up or write yes, I did. If you have at some point, right? If you have at some point had a 10-hour workday, and when you finish the 10-hour workday, you're not really sure what you truly accomplished. 8-hour workday, 6-hour workday, call it what you want. But how many of you type yes in the box or no in the box? You've done a 10-hour workday, and then at the end of the day, you go, what did I do today? Right? Like, what did I really accomplish? Like, how is my life and my business and my family better today? Right? Katya, somebody's asking, I saw that you put the name in there. If you don't mind, could you go to Amazon and find the link and then just drop it in the box for everybody to make it easier for them? But it's The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. There's a revised version for today's day and age. That's probably the one you want to read, right? Very famous book, very great12 in there. This book is like, you can graduate from this book, The 4-Hour Workweek, to the 12-week year, right? So there's so many different concepts, but the real concept is How can we be massively actionable? And I think when we do the SOP training and we focus on creating the standard operating procedure for your business, right? What we're doing essentially is we are creating a foundation for you, right? Because after the SOP, after we have our standard operating procedure, I'm probably going to launch into a second coaching program that I'm actually still writing. And I'm calling it the PNP, right? Processes and procedures. Okay. And the reason I'm calling it processes and procedures is because I want to be able to help you on the day-to-day, right? How do you accomplish the most that you can throughout your day while still leveraging the time that you have with your team, the time that you have with your family, maybe other businesses, right? Because think about this. If you're a super high-end, high-level entrepreneur and you can't stay still, right? Like I tell my wife all the time, I'm going to retire at this age. And she looks at me, she goes, yeah, right, dude, that's never going to happen. Right? Like you cannot stay still. You're going to build another business. You're going to create something new. Something's going to happen, but you're definitely not retiring. Right? And so if you're that type of individual, could you imagine if you can perfect the 4-hour work week? Well, shoot, you could run like 3 other businesses at the same time, make them all intentional, make them all successful, right? For the people that go, if you don't give 100% to one thing, you're never going to succeed at it. Yet I know so many amazing individuals running multiple companies, but they've perfected leverage. They've perfected passing on the torch. They've perfected delegation. They've perfected money making activities in the time that it's necessary to do it. And that's something that takes practice. And sometimes you don't want to run four businesses. Sometimes you just want to do one, and then you want to turn off for a little while. And for someone like me, and maybe many of you, it's very hard to turn the light switch off. And so that takes practice by itself, right? That actually takes a second for you to say, okay, today is Thursday. I attended this training. I put in 3-4 hours of solid deal work. It's 1:30 p.m., 2 p.m. I don't have anything else to do. I'm just gonna go pick up my kids and go to the skate park. That's hard to do, right? Because 1:30 p.m., 2 p.m. hits and you don't have anything else to do, which by the way, we always have something to do, right? We'll find that something. We've created all this money-making activity for today, and honestly, we're good to go, yet we will find something to keep us going till 8 p.m., and we'll miss out on those other opportunities, right? So I want to address real quick, I'm recording this, and I want this video to live in our coaching platform forever and ever, right? However, it is June of 2022. So I'm dating this video because somebody might watch this in 2026, right? I'm dating this video. And so I want to talk about the elephant in the room, the market, what's happening in the market, and all the craziness. And I'm here to tell you, I've been in the industry 17 years, going on 18 years soon, right? I've seen markets rise. I've seen markets fall. I've seen buyer markets. I've seen sellers markets. I've seen just about every market you could imagine. And I'm sure there's folks probably right now in this session that have seen markets even bigger and stronger and like crazier than anything we've seen, right? And now you start to look at interest rates on the rise and all this other stuff. So I want to say a couple things to you guys, and I'm posting a video later about this, and I'll send out an email when I do. But if you have 5,000 buyers for 50 homes, and the interest rate goes up, and a large percentage of those buyers become non-qualifiers for that home, and it reduces to 500. Let's say it goes from 5,000 to 500 for those 50 homes, you still have a seller's market, right? You still have 500 qualified, capable, and ready to buy a home buyers for those 50 homes. So as long as inventory still remains low, which by the way, there's been no fix for that, right? Like no one has said, okay, we're going to start building houses on top of houses, or we're going to start taking over this land, or we're going to start doing this. And even if they did today, those houses wouldn't be ready for 18 to 24 months. So it doesn't cure what's happening in our current market. Are we headed for a recession? Maybe. I'm not an economist. I don't know. And I'm not going to speculate on that. But if you watch a million economy videos out there, they all say that we are, or here's food for thought. They're trying to scare you into something else. Right? So I want to really be clear about this. NAR, right? Because today we're going to continue talking about social media and attention, right? NAR says that referrals remain the largest source of business for real estate agents. Referrals remain the largest source of real estate business for real estate agents, okay? Younger millennials are referring, 55% of them are referring their agents. Older millennials, 48% are referring their agents. Why is this important to you and what we're going to be talking about today? Well, today we're going to be talking about social media, and we're going to be talking about attention, developing attention in order to create the most important piece of real estate, relationships, right? And we're going to talk about being attentive, being attractive, but also being super interested in what's also happening in other people's lives, right? Like making comments on their stuff. And we're gonna touch on that quite a bit. And so with that, I do want to talk about what LCA calls the 3 pillars of communication with past clients and sphere of influence, right? So now your sphere of influence, once upon a time, used to be friends and family, right? Now that's been redefined because your sphere of influence can go as far as everyone that follows you on social media, right? Everyone that has, guys, we've got people in the waiting room. Let's let them in, please. Everyone that you have on social media, everyone that follows you on Instagram, everyone that consistently likes your posts and your reels and stuff like that, everyone that retweets your stuff, those folks are now considered your sphere of influence, and you're touching them by continuing to stay online, right? So the 3 pillars are online, where you have a cell phone device. I don't even know where my phone is. There it is. You have a cell phone device, right? And from here, you can communicate with just about anyone you want in your phone book, in Facebook, in Instagram, through the DM, through email. This is a massive, massive communication device right here, right? And so with this massive communication device, and hold on, let me mute everybody real quick. All right. With this massive communication device, you could create the online platforms necessary for you to develop in your business, right? Okay, let me put my phone down real quick. So now, leaving that alone, at home, right? Being able to focus with people at home, sending them note cards, gifts, things like that. This is your past clients and sphere of influence, right? Sending note cards, sending gifts. Penny Arneson's in here right now. Penny, how you doing, Penny? I swear to you, I get Happy Hanukkah cards from Penny. I get thank you cards from Penny. Penny's always been super amazing about being consistent and showing up in your home, right? And so when she does that for her clients, can you imagine the response that Penny receives? At least, she's got to have at least 3 to 10 clients. I mean, I'm doing a big spread because I don't know, but 3 to 10 clients that come to her. She's attracted them by being in their home, right? And then, of course, there's in-person. Nothing beats a personal touch, right? Nothing beats the shaking of the hand, the cup of coffee, even just a phone call instead of a text. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Right? You do that. That's important too. But the phone call, right? Being able to call somebody and say, I'll just use Christine Lynn, who's on with us. I'll say, hey, Christine, how you doing, man? How's everything? How's life? How's your family? How's your new place? How's this? How's that? Right? And not regurgitating on top of them. I'm a realtor. Let me know if you want to buy another house. Let's go. Right? Like getting out of that and just consistently creating relationships. And then we'll talk about drip campaigns. So next week, we're going to get hardcore into systems and organization of systems. And I'm going to give you guys some really, really badass like drip campaign features and sheets and things like that that you guys can create for yourselves. But what I do want to touch on is all of this can happen in automation. There are websites that you can use for these automations. I'm going to share some of these things with you guys. Okay. These are websites that have been shared with me, and I just want to pass on the greatness that I'm seeing happen, throughout. So let's get back to social media. So let's get to Instagram. Last week, we talked about GMB, which is Google My Business, right? So how many of you were able to get into your Google, create your business profile, update your addresses to make sure that you're being found in the right places, add some photos, make sure your hours were right, connect everything to your website. Maybe even some of you might have wrote one blog on it, or maybe some of you were doing something else. Like, how many of you were able to get into Google and do some updates, right? Yes, inside the group there, right? Yes. Awesome. Awesome. So a bunch of people were able to get in there and do it. Okay. Now, awesome. How many of you were able to update your websites, right? Like either create or update your websites, make sure you have proper information, make sure the names on Google My Business kind of matched exactly how you represented yourself on your website, right? Just keep writing yup, yes in there if you did it. If you didn't, hey, yo, it's not too late. Like, don't hang up the Zoom call and go, oh, David's, I'm so far behind. Forget about all that. Like, you've got time. We'll get this done, right? And the faster you get it done, the more solid it is. How many of you started a YouTube channel? Or how many of you have a YouTube channel? How many of you posted your first video? Like, how many of you guys did that, right? And so we talked about, today we're going to get into Instagram Reels and stuff like that, but we talked about YouTube Shorts, right? We talked about how important YouTube Shorts is for gaining subscribers to your YouTube channel, right? So how many of you guys were able to do that? I know I asked a lot from you last week. So if you didn't, it's okay. I'm not seeing any yeses come up. So that means we didn't get to the YouTube portion of this, but please do, right? Now, everybody's got Facebook, everybody's, I'm sure everyone in here has Facebook. Everybody's being attentive to it, but how many of you guys created your Facebook group? How many created a group for your community or for your hobby or for your sport or for your whatever it is that you feel like you can relate to your avatar with? Anybody create that group yet? Like I told you guys, I have a great veteran group for real estate agents, right? Penny says, me, neighborhood group on Facebook. Awesome, right? Like it's just a group for her neighborhood on Facebook. And she's going to invite everybody that is in her neighborhood, in her community into this group so they could talk about what's happening in the neighborhood. How huge is that, right? Which, by the way, super intelligent because there are apps out there for this, right? Like Neighborly and all these other apps where people go in and they talk about what's happening in the community. They're chit-chatting in there. And so great opportunity for Penny to be in front of her community, constantly contributing information, letting them know when events are happening, letting them know about new restaurants that are opening up, staying consistent and developing content for them so that she can develop relationships with them. Next thing you know, 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road, Penny's walking down the street and people are like, hi, Penny, how are you? Hey, I saw your post the other day, tried that Italian restaurant. Fantastic, right? That's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for. Can you imagine that community feel, right? Where they're looking at you to be the resource for them, right? And then we talked about creating widgets on your website to attract people to your different social media platforms. We talked about getting your reviews on Google Business. How many of you got some new reviews on Google Business? Not yet. I'm not seeing too many. I'm not seeing too many yeses. All right. So I saw a lot of people say they updated their Google My Business page, right? Once that's updated, next step, you go to your past clients. Go to your sphere of influence who knows you as a person, as a professional, and get them to write you a review. And then remember, what was the most important part to receiving a review other than actually getting it and ensuring that you guide them with the keywords that are necessary for them to promote, right? the next important piece was going in there and responding to these reviews, right? Oh my gosh, Susie, it was so great working with you. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be your real estate professional. What did I do there? Working with you. Thank you, right? Showed them. I said Susie, I said her name because I wanted her to know that I'm speaking to her and this was not just a generic message, right? And then more importantly, I said, real estate. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be your real estate, agent. And what I do there, I told Google all the information necessary. My client made a review on my real estate business page. I mentioned real estate. Susie mentioned real estate. We just kind of all went around. And now Google's bots and Google spiders and whatever they're called nowadays, they're reaching out. They're going, man, Cedric is legit. Cedric's receiving, reviews in the business. By the way, Cedric's in the mortgage business, right? So, his mortgage title matches his website and he's putting his reviews on his website. His website's linking back, creating backlinks between the two, right? So it's huge, right? So Christine says, I've missed review responses in the past. How far back is too far? Somewhere a year ago. There is no how far back. What a great opportunity, by the way, Christine, to get on the phone and call a client that you helped a year ago and say, hey, how are you? Hey, it's Christine. I'm just checking up on you. How you doing? This and that, blah, blah. That's great. How's the apartment? How's the house? How's the condo? How's the mansion? How's the boat? Whatever it is that you can talk. How are your kids? I remember one was going to high school. He's having that conversation, right? By the way, you should have all this information in your CRM. We're going to talk about systems next week, but and then say, listen, can I ask you for a big favor? I'm going to send you a text message with a link to my Google review page. Would you mind writing a review for my real estate business? They already love you, right? So they're going to be like, yeah, sure, right? And you just send them a text message that you have pre-prepared. Hey, just thank you so much for working with me. I would really appreciate a review. It is more important to me than anything else in the world that the rest of the world hears the experience that you had with me. Here's my link, direct link to the review page, direct link to the review page. Don't make them Google you, right? Direct link to the review page. And then when you click the direct link to the review page, you also should write in there, please be sure to use some keywords like real estate, home, realtor, and et cetera. That'll also help me with rankings because people want to help you. You help them, they want to help you. We're always afraid to ask for help. I never understood why we're afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask. Right? Go out there and just ask. It's like asking for the business. So many people are afraid to say, hey, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell real estate at this time? Right? We're afraid to say it. We don't say it on every phone call, every text and everything, but we're afraid to say it in the right moment when it feels good. We're like, and then you walk away. You're like, dang, should have gave him my card, So this is what we want to stop here. So let's get heavy. Let's go talk about Instagram real quick. So first and foremost,
hey, Dave, can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
So I'm new. So what I did is, and I didn't have real estate people. I didn't have past clients to get a lot of Google My Business. So I went to my past sphere of influence and I did it in a 2-tiered program. I created an Excel spreadsheet of everyone I knew. And then I did that exactly what you said, which is that format of text. And I sent it to them with the link. And I just said, hey, can you help me in my new venture? I would really appreciate it. And then I gave them that. And then but because I had an Excel spreadsheet, I sent it to everyone. And then I went back if they didn't do it, because I'll be honest, like 75% of the people didn't do it.
Right.
I went back and I led with value. And I saw the businesses that they owned and the stuff that they did. And I wrote them a preemptive review. Wait, you could go back if you want. That was not anyway. So I wrote them a review myself. And then I text them the review that I left them and said, hey, if you could help me out, I'd really appreciate it. And here are the keywords to use. And then everything took off because I led from value as opposed to just asking.
That's awesome. That's really great, especially if you know that they own a business. What a great opportunity to go in there and make a comment about their business on their Google review. Now they feel appreciated, but also secretly deep down inside obligated to help you out too, right? So, so leading with value is amazing. I appreciate that, Jeff. Really do. So let's get into Instagram real quick. There's a couple things on Instagram that I really want you to focus on. First things first, actual posts, right? Writing a post on your Instagram and getting engagement. Look, some posts don't get a lot of engagement. Simple as this. Happy Father's Day, right? That's not going to get a ton of engagement, but it is going to get some. I think like 9 people liked it. If somebody made a comment on it, I would have commented back, right? Then we can go. This was an old trip that my wife and I did. We did a motorcycle trip around the country. This was from New York to California. These are some of the pictures and some of the things, right? So, you know, I took a picture in the office. I was working out in the open space. I said, man, what a great opportunity for me to take my phone, lean it against this plant over here, take a picture, and then talk about, you know, the how excited I am to be able to work anywhere and be able to do what I do without having to be stuck to a cubicle, right? For me, that's huge, right? And then next piece, you know, my wife and I went to a women's council event. I follow some guys on social media that actually are pros at social media, right? So I'm always paying attention to what they're writing. And I remember one of the guys talking about best methods to take outdoor photos. And he was like shying away from the idea of holding the phone up and taking the selfie with your significant other, whatever. Me and my wife, he would say, you know, stop doing the selfie. Like, you know, and this guy even takes off his shoe and uses it as a tripod, right? So like I didn't take off my shoe, but there was a lamp post there. I used the lamp post. I got these beautiful Florida palm trees and water and ocean behind me. Recordings of the stuff that we do. Obviously, using the captions is huge, and I'll go into that and I'll kind of help you find how to get these captions done, right? But the point here that we're going to make, and I'm going to talk about this video too. You see a lot of the editing, you see a lot of the curving, you see a lot of the transitions, you see how quick it moves around the room, that kind of stuff, being able to angle properly and so forth, so on. This, by the way, is just silly, easy stuff to do, right? So a lot of the stuff that you see me do are reels. I do like to have captions on there. Why? Because when somebody is scrolling through Instagram, they are typically not scrolling with the sound on. So if you have captions, people's eyes are tend to just drop right into the caption and start to read. The important thing here is that you have what's called the hook, right? Being able to hook them right away from the beginning with what you want them to be attached to, right? So for example, I'll bring it up this way. What does it say? The time of the order taker is done, right? And so somebody might read that and they might say, I'm interested to know what this guy's really, what is he? This guy's a real estate coach and real estate agent. What is he talking about when he's saying the order taker is gone? And they might listen to it. They might just sit there and read it, right? Whatever the case is. But the captions to me are so critical and so important, right? So now you see this is, I did a reel for today's stuff, you know, so again, just one after another. So now the next piece I want to talk to you guys is swiping to the right and creating either posts, stories, reels, or going live, right? And so, and I know I said go and live. I stole that from Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry focuses on talking about going live on social media and just being the real authentic you, right? But let's have some fun with this, right? Now, Instagram is really cool because if you created a couple videos, right, Instagram will almost remake those videos for you in a heartbeat without having to worry about anything else coming through, right? So here we go. All right, so that's Renee running from the cops. I'm going to share that later, Renee. I know you're on here somewhere. All right, so let me explain to you what I'm talking about. I'm going to turn my page here. We're going to go to my camera, okay? And we are going to, it is not going to allow me to do video while I'm live on Zoom. All right, so let's say I wanted to do some video, right, of this. I got you there. Let's go over there. Let's go over there. Let's go over there. What? Let's go over there. Let's go over there. All right, so now I've got some pictures that we're going to steal. and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a reel out of this. Now, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to touch this reel button down here, right? Now I've got audio, I've got length, I've got speed, I got all this stuff. And I could create it straight from here by pressing this button and going straight from here. And then I could just add those photos that we added in there, hit this button up here, boom, 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 next, right? And then go to preview, right? And so try audio tools. Okay, yeah, it's telling me that I could try something, right? So like it's even teaching you what you can do, right? Hit next. And I could share this to Reels, but what I can do is I can add some audio to it, right? So it's going to work with the camera audio, but I can come here and add this song to it, right? And then whenever it loads. Now, mind you, I'm using this on Zoom, so it may not work as effectively, right? So let's say I add that song to it and I'm done. Now it's going to say, hey, you got music and you also have some sound. So maybe I don't even care to have the sound on from the camera. I could lower that volume all the way. Or maybe I'm doing an instructional video on, you know, first-time home buyers and what they should do to prepare for the upcoming market. And maybe I have, you know, Jeff Cale's Flow song in the background, and I reduce this down to like a 9 or 8%. So it's a subtle music behind the video that I'm creating. Hit done, hit next. Now I can write my captions here and so forth and so on. The other thing I can do is tag people. I can invite a collaborator. So I can add, let's say, my wife on here as a collaborator and choose her. And what that means is that she will be invited to be a collaborator on this post. And not only, if she accepts this collaboration, not only will it post on my feed, it'll post on her feed as well. Now, you can do this with other business accounts. And what I would say to you is your Instagram profile should be a business account. Now I'm going to show you why. Okay. Now I'm going to delete this, guys, because obviously I'm not going to post this, but let's see. I'll save it as a draft. Right now, what's the difference? Your post stays forever. Your reels will stay in the reels forever, and you can choose to post them as well. Your stories will only be on for 24 hours, right? This was a Snapchat feature. Snapchat was starting to become so massively famous that Instagram said we need to create our own 24-hour feature, but make it to the public, whereas Snapchat was person to person. How can I get people to create something and post it in 24 hours? It dissolves and disappears, right? And so that's what that is. And then, of course, there's the live feature, right? Which you can do anytime you want, at any listing that you're at, for anything that you need. You have this great live feature, right? Now, let's go back to my profile, and I'm going to explain to you why it's important to be a business. Here, you're going to see the edit profile feature, right? So here, I can choose my name, my username. I can write down my bio, exactly what I do. I could say what I am, public feature, contact options. When you have a business profile, it'll give you, okay, let me see if I could do this. Oh, it'll give you some added tools, right? And so added tools is from here in this section here. When you go to my page, you'll find this. And from there, you'll be able to either call me or you'll be able to email me. That is a business feature, and you want that, right? Also, you can see your followers and your posts. And why is that important? Because you want to understand your engagement. So if I come over here, I can go to my insights and I can see what my engagement looks like, right? I could see that over the last June 9th to June 15th, right? I'm down 87% in accounts reached. Okay. Maybe I'm not engaging enough, right? Account engagement, I'm down 64%, right? And my total followers hasn't grown a whole lot. So what does this tell me? I'm not doing enough engagement on social media during this time frame, which is about a week. I'm not doing enough engagement for me to stay relative and prevalent to the people that are following me, right? Now I could change this, right? So let's say that's the last 7 days. What does it look like for the previous month or last 30 days? Let's do last 30 days. Well, now last 30 days, my outlook looks a lot different. So what is that telling me? Last 7 days, I freaking sucked on Instagram, right? But right now I've got accounts reached. 385,000, accounts engaged, so forth and so on. Now, guys, these are big numbers, but they're also not very big numbers, right? You just want to see that your engagement is picking up, and you want to see that you're reaching more people, and you want to see that you're staying in front of people, which is why the business Instagram is so super duper critical, right? You can also talk about your activity, time spent, everything that you're doing on social media, right? You have your QR code. You can get your fans to follow here. You could download this. You can put it on your social media stuff, right? You guys right now looking on a phone, you could tap on that. You can follow me on social media, right? And then, so let me get out of here. Okay. And then, of course, you could create orders, you could create payments, you could create save things. I mean, there's so much stuff that you could do with this. You can check your settings, you could fix privacy. Now, let's talk about privacy for a minute. I mentioned this with the Facebook feature. I'm not a big fan of people making their pages private. We are real estate agents or business owners or mortgage professionals or whatever the case is. If your page is private, then you're not engaging with the amount of people you would like to engage with. I have everything public. You just see me, look at me. If you're interested, follow me. If you're not interested, keep scrolling. Not a big deal, but I just want you to be able to log in and see who I am, what I'm about, learn from me, learn from my family, learn from the stuff that we do, because I want you to call me and say, hey, Dave, I know you run a real estate team. Can you refer me an agent in X area? I want you to call me and say, hey man, when's your next in-person event? Love your coaching. I want this stuff, guys. I want this stuff, as should you. You should want people to want to be so interested in your life and the things that you're doing that they value you as a real estate professional and they want to engage with you on real estate, right? So Christine Lynn says, what are your thoughts on private and a separate one for business? Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked that, because that's exactly what we were tapping in next. My profile is a business page, right? It connects to my social media. It connects to my Facebook. And when I post something, I can post and share it right into my social media, right? I have a Facebook business page only because you cannot run ads from your personal page, and your personal page has limitations at 5,000 followers, right? Or friends, right? I need to be able to enhance past that. But on Instagram, I do not have separation. I don't believe in separation. The number one reason I don't believe in it is because your business page will never, ever, ever get the engagement that your private page does. The reason for that is because people are more interested in who you are and what you're doing over what's the last house you sold or rented. They just don't care, right? And so in here, you're going to see, like on my page, you're going to see a bunch of different stuff. I talk about the market. I showcase my wife, my office, coaching platforms, my business partners, right? Eating lunch, funny reels that I do with my wife, office meetings, coachings, trainings, and then I could do other stuff. I've got my daughter getting an award at school for TV production. She'll be a TV star. I do funny reels. Like, I want the people that want to do business with you, they want to do business with you because they want to know, like, and trust you, right? We talk about know, like, and trust all the time. No one is ever going to get know, like, and trust from this. I could post this all day long and no one's going to get know, like, and trust from this, right? Now, I have a real estate team that you're aware of, right? And so on my real estate team, we do have a separate page. Now I want you to check out the engagement on this page versus my other page. This page has been around for so long. This page turned from the Kurz team at Douglas Elliman to Kurz Real Estate to the Kurz team at eXp Realty, right? And so this page talks about the open houses, the just closed, the just listed, the holiday stuff, the showing off our agents, our capped agents, all that stuff, the new agents to the team, welcome to the team, Martin Luther King Day, happy 2022, right? Like, this is the page that does it all, right? And look at the engagement. right? The engagement's horrific, guys. It's horrific, right? And so why? Because there's no personal touch in here. All that's in here is look at just so, just listen, just so, just listen, agent, 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 just so, just listen, agent, 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 right? But when you compare 919 posts, okay, it's almost 1,000 posts that we've got now. We've got 1,495 followers. We're following way more people than care to follow us, right? But when you look at my page and the engagement on my page and the followership on my page, I'm following 7,300, almost 7,400 people. And I've got 28,000 followers or 23,000 followers. One day that'll be 100,000 followers, right? You know, but I'm building this more for engagement. I want the engagement. So I want people to know me as a person. I want people to know me as a, and I want people, appreciate that. I want people to know me as a real estate coach. I want people to know me as a person, as a family man, as a guy who likes going on vacations, as a guy that likes pictures, a guy that likes to have fun with his wife. You know, I want people to know me for that. And that is what's going to attract people to you. Who are you? Where do you live? What do you enjoy doing? How are you profiling yourself to the public, right? Now, I want to tap into, we have limited time. We're at 44 minutes already. So I want to jump into the next pieces and I want to give you guys a couple tools, right? First of all, I'm going to give you guys a challenge. All right, here's the challenge. Stories are not a part of this challenge, not a part of the challenge. Okay, no stories. All right, this is where your challenge is. I want you to either create posts or create reels, at least one a day for the next week. And I want them to all be video. Okay. So I want them all to be video based, right? The reason that I'm saying this is because I want you to engage through video. Now, what will happen is when you create your reel and you're doing this video, right? And you record yourself. Now, it's not going to work here. But if I press this button and I record myself speaking to the camera and I'm doing my whole thing, when I finish that, I can now preview it and it's not going to play because I'm on Zoom. I can swipe up and I can hit this right here, captions. And what's going to happen is going to automatically create the captions for me. And I'll be able to shrink them or grow them however I want in order to make them work for the video. And then I can elect to have that reel posted on my stories or not stories, but posted on my wall as well, right? On my feed. Now, this is what I want you to do, guys. One a day, must be video, must be on your reels and must be on your wall, okay, on your regular posts. And the reason I want you to do this is I want you to do two things. First thing I want you to do is I want you to tag me on every single one of them. My commitment to you is every time you tag me, I will share it and I will try to post on it. I will try to make a comment, right? Okay. I want you to see how I engage and how you can expect other people to engage and how you should be engaging with people in your feed, right? Now, the next thing is, this is a part of your homework, right? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to ensure that you have a business page and I want you to study your insights. So for the next 7 days until we meet again next week, we're going to check your insights. All right. And we're going to see, have you leveled up? Have you gained any followers? What's your engagement like? Are people getting excited with the stuff that you're posting? Now, this doesn't have to be the only thing you post, right? You can post your other stuff too, right? But I also want you to have fun with this. Maybe today you make a video on this coaching and something you learned today, and you want to share with the with other people in the world, right? Maybe you know, tomorrow you just like do a funny reel, right? Like go to my page, look at the stupid shit that I do, guys. I'm just having fun, right? So create a funny reel, have fun with it. Even if it comes out like shit, post it. Who cares? Right? Because you're going to keep practicing and you're going to keep pushing. You're going to keep creating for more. Right? And so all you're doing is letting people know that you're human, and that you're in this business, and that you have these likes and things that they might be interested in too, and you want to engage with them at different levels, not just buy a house with me, buy a house with me, buy a house with me, right? Okay, so going from that, tapping into this, all right. The next thing that I'm going to say to you guys is, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to show you one more program, right? This program right here called CapCut. Download this program, guys. My brother-in-law put me onto this program. It's an app, okay? It's called CapCut. It's free. This thing is amazing, okay? If you don't want to use the Reels and you're having trouble splicing videos together and creating stuff on there, you can do it here by creating a new project. You could take these videos, like I can take this video, this video, this video, this video, right? And I can hit add, and it's going to help me create something that I can post on my Reels, right? And it's going to really take me and push me kind of into a position in which I am creating stylistic, very cool, very nice videos. All right. So I'm going to stop it because it's at 2% because I'm on Zoom on this, right? But what CapCut does is it helps create videos. So I'm going to open up my Instagram once more, and I'll show you again, going back to, where's that video at? I've got peace. Going back. Let me see. Let me go to my Reels. Jeez, I lost it. Where is it? There it is. Sorry, I keep passing it. This was created with CapCut. So what this does is it allows you can add music from CapCut. It takes music from TikTok, okay? You can add, the transitions are very easy to add. You just click where the two clips add together. You could choose different transitions. You can take away the sound, you can add sound, you can speed it up, slow it down. It's so easy to use. And if you don't know how to use it, just go to YouTube, go to CapCut, figure out on YouTube how to use it properly, right? Okay. And then next thing is I'm going to say to you guys is I want you to stay hyper focused. All right, so let me take this off of the thing. I want you to get super hyper focused on, hold on one second. I want you to get super hyper focused on creating creating the videos. I want you to post the one a day. It doesn't have to be the only thing that you post, but I want you to stay super committed to this, because what you're going to find is that you're going to be developing that attention. Now, this attention we talked about last week is very important, especially in today with the things that are happening in the market, the things that are changing in the market. I want you guys to understand that the reason we're so hyper focused, and we spent 2 training sessions on this, is because this right here is the billboard. This is the bus bench. This is the marketing platform that you don't necessarily have to pay for, although you can create ads doing it, right? This is what helps you, one piece of what helps you stay in front of your clients through YouTube, through Instagram, through Facebook, through Twitter, through LinkedIn, through TikTok, through Zillow, Realtor. All this stuff is for you to stay consistently in the minds and in the hearts of the clients that you want to stay in touch with. Now, there are other things that you absolutely need to do, and those things we're going to cover next week when we get into systems, right? But there are absolutely other things that you need to do. You need to have CRMs, you need to have follow-ups, you need to have automated drip campaigns, you need to have automated note cards that go out, you need to do automated gifting, right? So you don't have to think about it. There's so many things, and I'm going to give you some resources next week, some different websites that you can use, that you could go to.
I'm selling lip gloss and skills. If y'all want to try this puppet, it's
all right. Different people that you can stay connected with and automate it with, and so forth and so on. And I think it's super critical for you to be on top of these systems. And what we're going to do is next week, we're going to talk about these systems. And when I say systems, I'm not talking about computer systems. I'm talking about Structure. I'm talking about having a CRM to help you keep structure, having automation to help you keep contact, right? All these different structures allow you to stay massively connected with your sphere of influence, with your past clients, so that you can continue to grow your business to a whole nother height, right? So that's it for social media. That's all I'm going to spend on that. You want to know more about that? Well, there will be super much deeper classes, right? But next week, we're going to get into systems and structure. The week after that, we're going to get to timing and planification. Okay. Super excited to continue with you guys. Again, I love to be super respectful for your time. It is 53 minutes past the hour. We are about 7 minutes. I want to open up the floor. Does anyone have any questions that they want me to address?
David, what would you say the difference is between the business Instagram account and a creator account as far as the tools?
So I think the biggest difference between the two is the creator account allows you to become a massive influencer, right? Where the business account gives you different insights, but it also gives you the opportunities for click and buy, right? So as a real estate agent, you might not necessarily need that, but it allows you to create e-com within your Instagram profile. So have you ever passed by somebody staying and they're wearing a shirt, right? And you know that on that picture, you could actually like click on the shirt and get linked to where they got the shirt, right? So that's the kind of stuff that the business profile gives you. I prefer the business profile because of the insights and the information that it gives you in that direction. It allows me to study if I'm doing what I'm doing well.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome, man. Anyone else got any questions that they'd like to ask or anything they'd like to share?
Hey.
Meredith, I hear you. Now I can't hear you.
My name is JLMJ. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Be who you are, for you proud.
Oh, yeah? Well, that's great content. Be who you are. She's letting you know. Okay. So anybody else have any feedback for me other than that? That's classic, by the way. I would have to say that's the first time that's ever happened to me on a webinar. All right, guys, have a wonderful week. If there's no questions, you guys know how to reach me. Every single week you get emails with all the recordings and all the content and all the stuff that we've done. So please, guys, stay in touch, stay connected, tag me on as much as you want to, and I promise you, I will share it as long as it's clean, ethical, and relevant. All right, guys. Love you guys. Be safe.
Thank you for everything, David.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeff.
Great day, great
Thanks,
week.
Raja.